you've ever seen the mad money I make installing solar panels around town, you know that life is way more about acting like you know what you're doing. So today we're going to take that same principle and apply it to strumming a ukulele. A lot of people are trying to pick up a uke right now and just kind of do something with the musical instrument. The great thing about it is it's accessible, but a lot of people get stuck in the same pattern of doing stuff like... And that exposes you as a teenage girl at heart. So we need to kind of fix this, unless that's what you're going for, which is cool, no judgment here. But we're going to start incorporating a little bit of counting, very, very simple counting, where you can keep your strumming hand going, and then really kind of be able to diagnose certain strumming patterns, and then apply them. Okay, so the main example we're going to use right now, we're going to use just 3 basic chords, G, F, C, G. And it's going to sound like this. So it's actually super easy, but it's creating a framework that you can kind of take above and beyond, right? So again, a lot of this comes down to counting and muting, all right? So the first thing we're gonna do, we're not even gonna play a chord, we're just gonna hold the strings where you just hear a deadened sound, okay? I'm not holding them down, I'm just touching the strings where they're not gonna vibrate, okay? So now with my strumming hand, whether you're using a pick, whether you're using just your pointer finger, I think a lot of times I'm just gonna use my pointer finger for this one. You can use your thumb, whatever you wanna do, it doesn't matter. It's all gonna come down to the same thing, right? And what that is creating a steady tempo that you're always gonna kind of get going and you're never even gonna think about eventually. So right now it's just gonna sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the numbers are all downstrokes with my pointer finger, and the word "and" is going to be an upstroke with kind of like the pad of my finger, right? 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So once you can do that, now you'll notice it's not just 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. The difference is a little bit of a dynamic, okay? So the even numbers, what I'm doing is I'm trying to hit the higher strings, maybe the highest 3 strings, or just kind of hit them a little bit harder, and it kind of gives, you know, more of a vibe to the strumming pattern of the song you're doing, right? So the odd numbers, I'm just hitting like the lower parts of the string, right? Maybe like the 2 first strings you kind of get right here. And again, the even numbers, I'm getting more of like a hit, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and listen for it. Okay? So eventually, I'm not ever going to change what I'm doing with my strumming hand, but once you apply a chord to it, it kind of seems like I'm doing something a little bit different, but this is just on autopilot. That's what you want to get down. Counting behind the scenes where you're on autopilot, okay? That's the most important thing, all right? So again, now let's do it with the chord. So we're going to take this G chord, middle finger, 2nd fret on the bottom, ring finger, 3rd fret, pointer finger, 2nd fret, and then you can get the open G string right here, okay? So if we have this chord, we can do that same strumming pattern, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now you'll notice it sounds a little bit different than the, because we're not adding that mute. The thing about those even numbers getting that mute in there, it's kind of a percussive nature that keeps the strumming going, right? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this. Now what you'll notice is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. On those even numbers of the count, my pinky is coming down to mute the strings. Okay, I'm muting the strings below the chord, or higher over the chord, right? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm connecting my pinky and my hand just like that, right? So now you can do that over any chord. I think maybe if this is kind of like still a tough chord for you to start, do a C chord and do it with your pointer finger like this. 3rd fret on the highest string right here, right? Now I think this is maybe the best way to build that motor skill, that muscle memory into your playing by doing this. Right, so right there, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You'll notice that on the odd or the even numbers, my middle finger is coming down to mute those strings. Now this is really, as far as like, you know, your hand, the limberness of your hand, I suppose. This one isn't that difficult because you just have this easy chord, and then your middle finger can come down and just really hold those strings. Now at first it might sound like, you know, when you put too much pressure on it, you really just want to get enough pressure to hold those strings down so they don't make any noise. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and the nice thing about getting that mute on the 2 and the 4, 1 and mute and 3 and 4 and then opening it up to get the and of 2, as we call it, the and that comes after the 2, 1 and 2 and, right? To get that, it kind of gives this perpetual feeling that you can kind of just keep strumming and going, and it really gives the song a lot more of a vibe than just, because again, while that has its place in society and pop culture, it's not my favorite, I'm gonna be honest. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and just do that on one chord. You see how fast you can get it. And then eventually it'll just become second nature. You won't even have to think about it. Again, that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and say it out loud. No one's judging you. This is how you build good timing. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and over any chord. A little harder with the G because your pinky is kind of doing the work here of muting it. Another thing you can do is actually use your fretting hand to mute it. Like that, just kind of like pushing the pressure down. I think that's a little, I don't know, maybe that's a little more advanced than kind of just using a free finger to come down. That's the great thing about a ukulele only having 4 strings. Usually you have a finger free to help mute the fretting hand strings, right? But hey, whatever. However you want to do it to get that mute, to kind of get that vibe sounding, it's going to sound good, right? And then we'll do the same thing with the F chord. Middle finger 2 on the string right here. And then pointer finger on the first string of the first fret of the E string. You can kind of see the same thing. You can see on that 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. I'm just using my free fingers to mute the string set. Again, so it kind of gives the vibe that you're almost doing a complicated strumming pattern. Now, another thing you're probably going to be like, Sean, you didn't tell us what we're supposed to do on the switch, right? When you switch chords, that can be a quick thing to do, especially once your strumming picks up. So what I love to do on this, and this works on guitar or really anything you can strum, is abandoning the chord on the last count and then just playing it as an open string set until you get there. So let's go from a G to a F. What I mean by that is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay? See? So on the and of 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and open string set 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You can even leave earlier than that. You can leave on the 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. As long as you do it on the last beat or the last however long you need to get to that next chord of the bar, it's not going to sound too bad, and it's just going to be an open thing, just waiting for you to get that next chord down, okay? So now these are just kind of certain basic rhythmic principles of strumming, like you know what you're doing. You can start adding these. Once you can diagnose a count, you can really do anything, right? You can add more mutes in if you want. You can actually just add, like, you could mute the entire back end of a bar. That really helps when you're singing and playing at the same time, because you don't always maybe want like a full sustained thing, because now I'm kind of fighting with the sound of the instrument to kind of have, you know, my voice be heard or whatever. You could just do like the 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 as long as you get that one up front, you're still going to have the essence of what the chord progression is, which I think is really important, right? So again, I cannot overstate how important it is to be able to count, to be able to even just fundamentally feel a count, even if you're not doing it out loud, because once you have that, then you can apply that to pretty much any strumming pattern. Everything has a count, no matter how spacey and loose it may feel. it's got to count, I promise you. So the sooner you start thinking in 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then be able to hear that, like hear the count. Then any other count that you'll be able to diagnose is going to be a lot easier, all right? So anyways, just kind of wanted to throw that out there because I had some requests on how to strum a ukulele in a way that doesn't sound completely basic, and that's how we're sticking to it. So practice that. Shout out to Ortega for sending me this ukulele. I'll link you in the description if you're interested in it because it's quality, and it's got a built-in tuner, which is great because for some reason I'm still stuck in Guitar World where like knowing that the notes are G, C, E, A still doesn't like resonate with me. That's why I'm like the lowest string, the highest string, whatever. But yeah, check that out. If you have any questions, hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, the comment section of the website. I'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks a lot.